Hey guys, what's going on? So today in Monster Super League, we're going to be talking about the top 10 farmable Astromons. Now, of course, this is my opinion, but I think I am pretty experienced. There may be a couple of 2 stars, like maybe the new ones that I will leave out because I'm not too familiar with them yet. We're going to be doing this video actually on my little account here. Before we get started though, I just want to give a big shout out to Hachi from our Discord server, a very talented artist. Drew me this oh so adorable chibi light Scubbus. I swear to god, it's so cute. I think my beard just fell off. She makes other art, including other MSL characters. She has an Instagram page as well as a Deviant art page. I'm going to be linking them down in the description below. So if you're into that cool stuff, art, drawings, and such, make sure to check her out. But without further ado, let's get started. So up at number 10, we have Wood Mushi. So Wood Mushi is extremely easy to farm, and out of this entire list, he probably has the highest damage potential. And so if that's the case, why is he number 10 on the list and not like number 1 or number 2 or whatever? And the reason is because even though he can be very powerful, he is extremely hard to gym correctly. We can look at his skill set here, and he has 100% chance to restore his entire SP bar on a critical hit. So if you're newer to the game, you won't have access to very powerful crit rate gems yet, unless you're really lucky and get a 6-star crit rate intuition from a clan battle or something. Wink wink, you know who I'm talking about. And then his 5-star is not only a single target, making it do even much more to a single target, but it also increases the crit damage by 50%. So he can do massive damage, and he can always have his SP bar full every other attack. So definitely an extremely powerful Astromon, but you also need extremely powerful gems to complement him. That's basically the only way I can say it. You can farm him here in Seabed Caves. He's in that too. You don't need any other Astromons. Just go farm here, grab 16, and Evo 3, boom, very easy. Up at number 9, we have Light Kilobat. I don't have any Guardian dungeons here to show you, but he is permanently one of the Guardians, because there's always Kilobat and then someone else. This month it's Hermit. But yeah, getting him and farming him is extremely easy because you just need 15 soul stones of Kilobat, which you can get by running the dungeons, and then you can get the rest of the Kilobats just farming either Star Sanctuary over here or Mirage Ruins over here. They're on both stages, so you get one Light Kilobat, 15 Dark Kilobats, fuse them all together for Evo 3, easy peasy. Why Light Kilobat is good is because he has a 100% chance at attack down on his 3-star skill. It is only for 1 turn, but it's 100% chance, so that's very good. We don't have very many easily obtainable attack breakers in the game, especially on the 3-star skill, so he's really good for that. In some harder content like Golems and Dragons, where they are doing tons of damage, attack breaking them is very important to stay alive. So again, another easily farmable, pretty cheap to raise Astromon, and is quite useful. The cool thing about Kilobat that wasn't so cool about Wood Mushi is he is also quite easy to gym. He just needs to be survivable, going something like HP defense, or I mean, if you want him to do a little bit of damage, I wouldn't really recommend trying to make him do damage. He's really just an attack break. You could put an attack gym in there and you'll probably still be quite survivable because he is a defender. Ultimately, it's up to you. Number 8 on the list is gonna have to be the Wood and Water Mona. They are natural 3 stars. You can farm only the water one though. You can only actually farm the water one. But if you want to get the wood one to Evo 3, you just need to get one wood one from summoning via an egg or a 10+1 or whatever, and then you can farm the other 15 water ones here at Pagos Coast as the rare Astromon. They are both pretty good for different reasons. Water Mona here is an attacker. She refills her SP bar by 20% every turn and then has a 50% 2-turn defense break on the 5-star skill. So a pretty good water attacker here, solid all around. A little bit harder to farm than the 2 stars, but definitely doable still. Wood Mona plays a completely different role, but for that we're going to have to go into the Astro Guide and look at her there. So yes, here she is. She refills 20% of her own HP every time she does her normal attack, and then has an 80% taunt. She's kind of seen as the carry lord for early B7 golem runs. Since she will be very tanky, she'll have a lot of HP, a lot of defense. She can stay alive pretty much alone if she's gymmed well enough in the B7 Golem, and she definitely is a nice complementary unit there. Personally, I don't use her because I don't really need her. Most of my units survive through B7 and it's all good. But if you are having a lot of trouble, or if you want to quickly, early on in the game, start autoing B7, then she would definitely be a good unit there. Number 7 on the list is Wood Kokamaru. You can farm him here. You don't need any other elements since the wood one is is here. I'll be honest, his skills really aren't all that great. He just has a 40% stun and a 60% 2-turn sap, so definitely not too interesting. The thing that makes him pretty good is his leader skill, where he will increase the attack power of ally wood Astromons by 30 to 35%, and now that is a pretty powerful leader skill if you're bringing a wood team anywhere. For B7, it's more recommended to go with the wood Miho lead and for the resist. But outside of that, I think if you just want a bit more attack power, want to get through your runs faster, Wood Kokamaru would be a good lead there. He does good damage. Maybe he'll stun every now and then. It's only 40% chance, but it's still something. So up at number 6 now, we have Candling. Candling, I didn't raise on my main account the first time around, but I'm raising him on this account now, and I definitely don't regret it at all. He is very similar to Fire Yuki. He has defense down on both 3 and 5-star skills, 60% for 2 turns on both. He is an attacker, has an interesting leader skill, 15 to 20% crit rate. Only in dungeons it works though, but he would be quite good as a leader in the B9 Golem, being not only a fire type, a defense breaker, and an attacker. He'll do a lot of damage, crit every now and then, and make everyone else crit more often. He's just basically a solid all-around Astromon, especially since fire units are a little bit harder to get your hands on earlier in the game. Up at number 5, we have all Cotteens. You can get the wood one here in Aria Lake, the water one here in Seabed Caves. You can also get the water one in Magma Crags. The fire one though, you do have to either summon or get out of the Shady Shop. Thankfully, it is in the Shady Shop quite often, so if you do happen to see one randomly, then make sure to pick it up, because it is a pretty good fire healer, and those again are kind of hard to come by. We're going to take to the Astro Guide to look at them all. The fire one I think is the best out of the 3 Cotteens, but I think all have their uses, and they're all different elements, so of course some will be better in other places. So here we go, here's the fire one. Its 3-star skill honestly isn't very interesting, 60% for 1 sap for 1 turn. It's not very powerful, but the healing and the attack up buff I think are very, very useful, and considering it's a fire type, it may be like your starter fire healer for the B9 Golem. Fire Cupid is obviously better, but getting the Fire Cupid to even Evo 2 may take more time than you anticipate, and Evo 3 Fire Cottontails will probably have better stats, better survivability, and better healing even. The water one is also quite good. Shield Break is only really useful in like one of the Tower of Chaos floors, so you can basically ignore this skill, but she is worth raising if you do need a shield breaker for that floor, even if it's just for that reason alone, because you absolutely do need one if you can't one-shot the Kira. This is a different discussion for a different time. Just saying shield break isn't very useful outside of that. But then we have the defense up buff, which is very useful everywhere, as well as the healing. She is a water type, so if you are in need of a water healer, which is one reason why I don't recommend water as much because of another unit on this list. Probably most people already know what that's going to be. But yeah, regardless, she is a solid all-around water healer. Moving on to the wood one now. For me, this is probably the least interesting of the Cotteens, but still a solid wood healer. A low taunt chance isn't very useful, and then purification can definitely be useful if there are a lot of debuffs going around. Still seems a little bit more niche, and you would definitely have to build her with a lot of resist so she isn't stunned or shocked or has all those bad things happening to her, so she can't even use the 5-star skill. So she may be a little bit harder to build in that regard. But yeah, all around very easy Nat 2 farmable healers. Definitely give them a look. I'm pretty sure some of the Ribbonesses are also pretty good. We're going to take a look at them just real quick. So looking at the Wood Bell Pup, I actually heard her Vigor is actually much more powerful than other Vigors. I'm not sure why that is, but it's definitely something to look into if you'd rather have a Vigor over a Purification like on Wood Cotteny's skill. The water one does have a 2-turn 50% attack down on the 3-star, which is actually pretty decent for a Nat 2, but then just a recovery up buff, so I'm not too sure how interesting that is. Fire one has Zeal, allies SP for 2 turns, refills a bit of it, and you get bonus red souls on the 3-star. So again, they're kind of all around decent healers. They are a little bit harder to farm though because you have to go into the much later stages of the game. But yeah, anyway, moving on to number 4 now has to be Water Lat. You actually get a free Water Lat in the very beginning of the game, and you can get the other 15 you need for Evo 3 just from here on Mirage Ruins. So extremely easy to Evo and very, very cheap for a natural 3-star. Water Lat is one of the only Astromons that has a Nat 3 and Nat 2 counterpart, so you can farm all the Nat Nat 2s, get 3 of them to Evo 2. It'll be a lot cheaper than getting Nat 3s to Evo 2 because it just costs less to awaken and evolve them. So essentially you can have a Nat 3 star at Evo 3 for a much less cost than usual. Besides that, he's a solid all-around unit anyway. 60% 2-turn defense break on the 3-star, 60% 2-turn attack break on the 5-star. So good all-around skills can be used everywhere, really. The leader skill is amazing for Astromon League. Your team doesn't need to be a certain element to even take advantage of this, just you need to be an Astromon League, of course, so a very good leader skill there. Also, he's a tank, so he'll have not much problem surviving 30k natural HP at 5-star Evo 3, which you can further boost with gems. His attack and defense stats aren't really impressive, but they can be boosted again with gems. I just kind of have him balanced attack, HP, defense. He honestly doesn't need attack, but I just prefer my units to do more damage, even if they're not really meant to, and trade off a bit of that survivability. Number 3 on the list has to be Wood Miho. Wood Miho is a little bit harder to farm, but when you're earlier on in the game, it isn't so bad because while completing your missions here, you'll get several Miho Soul Stones. As you can see here from doing the various quests, you will eventually also get Wood Miho Soul Stones here for doing everything on Extreme. So you can get your first few Mihos that way. And the rest you can find pretty much everywhere on any difficulty on the first 8 continents, just as super rare spawns. So even though they are very rare to spawn, since everywhere you run story mode except for Skyfalls and Slumbering City does have a chance to spawn them, getting her to Evo 3 shouldn't take that long. You can also get them from 10+1 pulls or just opening eggs randomly, so that's another thing. She has a very good leader skill all around, resistance plus 20% if you are lucky enough to get the plus 5% there. Defense break is a good skill again. Stun is decent, mainly for Astromon League or trying to help clear out the mobs before the golem boss and golems. Again, an attacker will have pretty good attack stats, not so much on the HP or survivability, but you can help that out with gems as well, and very highly recommended to start farming B7 Golem. Number 2 on the list has to be Siren, probably the best early game healer there is. She's actually still useful later in the game as well. You can farm her at Aria Lake starting like on your first day. You can already start farming her because she is appearing on every difficulty, like every Nat 3. And since the water one is the good one, the one we are going for, we don't need to get lucky by getting any other element. Just grab 16 from Aria Lake and you're good to go. Her 3-star skill helps her very much by staying alive, 20% own HP per attack. So you want to gem her definitely with a lot of HP, so she takes a lot of advantage of this. And then of course she heals everyone, gives them vigor, which will continue healing them over the next 2 turns, keeping everyone else quite healthy as well. So a very, very good healer, especially early on in the game. Also a very good leader skill when you're taking a full water team. It increases the defense of water Astromons by 30 to 35%. So up at number 1, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? For that we gotta go all the way to Skyfalls and Shelly. Yes, Shelly is our number 1 farmable Astromon. It's probably a little bit biased. I just really like Shelly's 100% defense break, 2 turns on the 3-star. That's great. He is definitely harder to farm than most of the others I've said on this list because he is a Nat 3. He will be a rare, and he does only appear on Skyfalls, which is a much later continent. Regardless, I was able to get my Shelly to Evo 3 about 2 or 3 weeks into the game. It really shouldn't take that long to have access to this place where you can farm him. His 5-star skill isn't as interesting. I mean, it's still definitely something. He is a single target attacker that will have 100% more attack when attacking water Astromons on his active. So I can do some huge damage to other water Astromons. It's kind of a shame it wasn't to fire Astromons, because then it would be like crazy. Maybe it'd be a little bit too overpowered then, but still quite decent. Also, being an attacker, he can do quite a lot of damage as well. I would recommend building him more balanced rather than like Glass Cannon or something, because he is so awesome because of the 100% 2-turn defense break. That's definitely the most powerful Nat 3 skill we have, and it's found on a farmable Shelly. So number 1 flat out has to go to Shelly in my book. And yeah, that's it. I know I didn't really go over like gym builds for each of them individually. I think that would have been a much too long video. Basically, this was just to tell you my personal opinion on what I think are the best ones you can farm. The ones that don't really require that much RNG, just enough dedication to a certain location of farming. Also, by the way, Shelly's you can also naturally get out of 10+1s or eggs, so you don't necessarily have to get all 16 by farming Skyfalls. Also, I'm sure there are some pretty good farmable Astromons that I didn't include in this video. If you know of any that are really good, drop them down in the comments below. Also, make sure to drop a like if you did enjoy. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time. Ho ho ho, there's one Astromon secretly that was number 0. Yes, this is even better than number 1. We have the almighty Beth. With her super secret water predator skill, she can practically destroy everything she sees. She also spawns more commonly than Pinolo, so it's you can get her EV3 pretty fast, and yeah, well, she's not really that good, you know. So. Active skill, single target, I guess, but Puglist set, she hits like 1 time or maybe 2, so guaranteed stun. But you know, if you bring her into like B7 Golem, she's gonna scare the Golem away. She's gonna walk away, and then you win. He drops the gym. Okay, I'm done with this.